Learn how to handle disrespect with calm, strength, and unshakable self-control, just like a true Stoic. This video breaks down timeless Stoic principles to help you rise above insults, stay composed under pressure, and respond with power, not emotion. There is something at the end of this video that will surprise you. Subscribe to the Stoic Mindset Mastery channel. So let's get started. Have you ever noticed how some people go out of their way to test your patience? Just to see how far they can push you? It's almost like they're waiting for you to break. A subtle insult here, a sarcastic remark there. They poke, prod, and cross quiet boundaries, not because they don't know they're being disrespectful, but because they want a reaction. They want you to snap, so they can say, "See, I knew you couldn't handle it." But here's the truth. The moment you stop reacting emotionally, you become untouchable. It's like a wolf circling a fire, drawn to the warmth, but afraid of the flame. Or a child pushing buttons just to see what lights up. When you stay composed, you stop being entertaining. You stop being easy to control. And the moment you stop giving people the emotional response they crave, they lose their grip. Because while they're trying to provoke you, you always have a choice. Let them pull you into their chaos, or stay rooted in your peace. Power doesn't come from reacting, it comes from restraint. The moment you stop trying to prove yourself, you quietly prove everything. So how do you deal with someone who constantly tests your limits? Stay with me, because what comes next might change the way you handle disrespect forever. 1. Don't react emotionally. Pause first. One of the core Stoic principles when facing disrespect is this: don't react emotionally. When someone tries to belittle you, dismiss your ideas, or embarrass you in front of others, the instinct is to fire back. Maybe your chest tightens, your voice rises. You want to explain yourself, prove them wrong, make them regret it. But here's what the Stoics understood. Reacting emotionally isn't strength. It's surrender. Every time you let someone trigger you, you hand them the remote control to your mind. They press a button and you dance. But when you pause, breathe, and let the emotion pass through you without acting on it, you take your power back. You're no longer reacting from ego. You're responding from principle. That's self-mastery. Epictetus said it clearly: if you are easily provoked, you are easily controlled. The person who can trigger you at will owns the moment. But the one who doesn't flinch, the one who responds, not reacts, that person is free. And in today's world, where disrespect often hides behind sarcasm, fake compliments, or jokes, that pause becomes your shield. Let me share a story. A man I know, we'll call him Brian, had a boss who loved to undermine him in meetings, throwing subtle digs like, "Well, Brian's idea is ambitious," followed by a smirk or forced laugh. At first, Brian used to defend himself. He'd interrupt, argue, try to explain, and every time he'd walk out of that room feeling drained. Until one day he chose silence. He didn't flinch, didn't defend, just held eye contact and let the moment hang. And something shifted. The room got quiet. The boss lost momentum. And Brian? He walked out with his dignity intact. So how do you practice that kind of control? First, recognize the trigger. Notice what's happening in your body. Tense jaw, raised voice, clenched hands. Second, pause. Even 2 seconds of stillness can reset the moment. Third, ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Is this moment worth giving away my power? Disrespect is inevitable, but reaction, that's optional. A true Stoic doesn't let others pull their strings. They don't fight for validation. They protect their peace. And in doing so, they rise above it all. Number 2, recognize their behavior reflects them, not you. Let's talk about one of the most important Stoic truths when it comes to handling disrespect. It's not about you. When someone mocks you, talks down to you, or tries to make you feel small, it's easy to internalize it. You start questioning yourself. Did I say something wrong? Should I have responded differently? But here's the truth the Stoics understood deeply. Disrespect says more about the one giving it than the one receiving it. People project. They leak insecurity through sarcasm, They reveal jealousy through passive aggression. They try to undermine others as a way of distracting from what they haven't resolved within themselves. If someone has to tear you down to feel tall, it's not strength, it's avoidance. Mature people don't need to belittle. They're too grounded for that. They lift others up because they've made peace with themselves. So the next time someone disrespects you, remember this: it's a reflection of their inner world, not a measurement of your worth. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When someone does you wrong, it is because they are mistaken about what is good." That means people often act from ego, fear, or ignorance, not clarity. And if they haven't even figured themselves out, how could they possibly define your value? Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Rachel, was promoted at work after years of quiet consistency. Most of her team congratulated her. But one colleague, who'd been there longer, made a remark in front of everyone. "Well, I guess experience doesn't matter anymore." The room fell silent. Rachel felt the sting, but she didn't react. She smiled calmly, said nothing, and let the moment pass. Later, she told me, "That comment said everything about her, and nothing about me." She understood what most people miss. That silence was more powerful than any comeback. So how do you practice this mindset? First, pause and observe. Ask yourself, what does this say about them, not me? Second, separate their behavior from your identity. You are not defined by someone else's frustration or bitterness. Third, respond with clarity, not ego. That may mean silence. That may mean walking away. But either way, don't mirror their behavior, transcend it. At the end of the day, you don't control how others treat you, but you control what you believe about yourself. And when you realize that disrespect is often just a projection, you stop taking it personally and start carrying yourself with quiet authority. Number 3, respond with composure, not revenge. Let's talk about one of the most powerful Stoic responses to disrespect: composure over retaliation. When someone embarrasses you, insults you, or tries to provoke a scene, your ego will flare up. You'll feel the heat rise. Your mind will race with comebacks. You'll want to level the field, humiliate them the way they did you. But here's the catch. Revenge might feel good for a moment, but it costs you your peace. Stoicism teaches that the goal isn't to win the argument. The goal is to protect your character. Because the moment you stoop to their level, you step out of alignment with yourself. And that's exactly what they want. They don't want resolution, they want a reaction. They want to pull you into chaos because that's where they feel most comfortable. But when you remain composed, you deny them what they seek. You remind them and yourself who holds the real power. Revenge is loud. Discipline is silent. And silence? Silence backed by self-control can be louder than any insult. So how do you hold that composure? First, recognize the bait. Not every provocation deserves your energy. Second, check your motive. Are you responding to protect your peace or your pride? Third, let your restraint speak for you. Let your discipline answer what your ego wants to shout. People will try to test you. That's inevitable. But if your response is grounded in values, not emotions, you never lose. But when you respond with calm, measured composure, you take away their power. This is exactly what Marcus Aurelius meant when he wrote, "The best revenge is not to be like your enemy." True power isn't loud. It's not in shouting matches or sharp comebacks. It's in the ability to remain still while someone else spins. To stay grounded while they try to pull you into their storm. Because the person who can't be rattled, can't be controlled. Let me share a story. A man I know, let's call him Josh, was in a team meeting when a colleague took a jab at his work ethic. The room laughed awkwardly. It was a cheap shot and everyone felt it. Josh could have snapped back. He could have fired off a clever insult and owned the moment. But instead he paused, looked him in the eye and said calmly, "I'm here to do my job well, not to entertain." Then he turned back to his presentation. No raised voice, no insult, just composure. And you know what happened? The energy in the room shifted. People respected him more, not less. The man who made the joke looked petty. Josh looked unshakable. Because silence, when it comes from inner strength, commands more than noise ever could. So how do you respond with composure? First, pause before reacting. Let the moment breathe. Create space between the trigger and your response. Second, ask yourself, do I want temporary satisfaction or long-term self-respect? Third, stay rooted in principle, not impulse. The person who insults you wants a show. Don't give them one. At the end of the day, revenge might give you a moment, but composure gives you momentum. Let your discipline speak louder than their disrespect. Because when you stay calm under pressure, you don't just win the moment, you rise above it. And nothing disarms disrespect faster than dignity. Number 4, set clear boundaries, calmly. Let's talk about something the Stoics understood deeply. Setting boundaries is a form of self-respect. Being Stoic doesn't mean being silent. It doesn't mean tolerating repeated disrespect or letting people walk all over you. A true Stoic isn't passive. They're intentional. They don't react emotionally, but they don't stay quiet when it matters either. When they speak with calm conviction. Here's the truth. If someone repeatedly disrespects you and you say nothing, you're teaching them that it's acceptable. Silence can feel like taking the high road, but without boundaries, silence turns into permission. That's why Stoic wisdom doesn't tell us to suppress ourselves. It tells us to respond, not from anger, but from clarity. You don't need to yell. You don't need to argue. You just need to be clear, calm, and firm. Plato put it best. A wise man speaks because he has something to say, not because he wants to say something. Speak when it matters. And when it comes to protecting your time, your peace, and your dignity, it matters. Let me share a story. A woman I know, let's call her Dana, had a colleague who constantly interrupted her during meetings. First, she let it slide. She didn't want to seem confrontational. But over time, she realized that staying silent was costing her more than speaking up would. It was costing her voice. So the next time it happened, she calmly said, "Please let me finish before jumping in. I want to make sure we're hearing each other fully." That was it. No attitude, no sarcasm, just a boundary clear and firm. And it worked. The interruptions stopped. Because she didn't just protect her voice. She honored it. So how do you set boundaries with calm authority? First, recognize the pattern. Repeated disrespect isn't an accident. It's a signal. Second, speak clearly and directly. No passive aggressiveness. No performance. Just truth. Third, stand behind your boundary without apology. You're not being rude. You're being self-respecting. At the end of the day, boundaries aren't walls to keep people out. They're guardrails to keep your peace in. And when you communicate them with calm strength, you teach others how to treat you without ever raising your voice. The interruptions stopped, not because Dana got louder, but because she got clearer. So how do you set boundaries the Stoic way? First, know your limits. Understand what's okay with you and what isn't. If you don't know where your line is, no one else will either. Second, when that line is crossed, don't explode. Don't shame, blame, or lash out. Respond with calm, respectful clarity. Third, stay consistent. A boundary is only as strong as your willingness to uphold it, again and again without apology. At the end of the day, being calm doesn't mean being passive. Being kind doesn't mean being silent. And being Stoic doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. When you set boundaries without anger, you send a message. I respect myself too much to stay quiet. And that kind of clarity commands more respect than any outburst ever could. If you've watched this far, leave a comment with a thank God and give it a like if you found value in this message. Your support fuels this work and inspires future videos. Let's keep growing together. Number 5. Walk away when necessary. Let's talk about one of the most powerful Stoic decisions you can make when facing disrespect. Walking away. There's a lie that says walking away means you've lost, that you were too weak to handle it, that you didn't have the guts to stay and fight. But the truth is, sometimes the strongest move isn't to confront, it's to withdraw. Because not every battle deserves your energy. Not every insult needs a response. Not every person is worth engaging. Here's the reality. Some people thrive on provoking others. They push buttons, stir drama, and feed off emotional reactions. They don't want peace. They want power. They want control. And as long as you keep engaging, even to defend yourself, you're still giving them exactly what they want. But the moment you walk away, you take away their fuel. You break the cycle. You shift the power back to where it belongs, with you. That absence of reaction, that's real strength. This is where Stoic wisdom cuts deep. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't waste what's left of your life on the minds of others." In other words, stop living for their approval. Stop dancing to their chaos. Stop trying to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Your time is limited. Your peace is sacred. Your energy is currency. Stop spending it on people who bankrupt your spirit. Let me share a story. A man I know, let's call him Brandon, worked with someone who constantly mocked him in subtle ways. Sarcastic jokes in front of others. Passive-aggressive remarks in emails. Always towing the line of just kidding. First, Brandon tried to address it. He responded calmly, tried to reason, tried to be the bigger person. But nothing changed. Until one day, Brandon stopped engaging altogether. No more explanations. No more reactions. He limited contact, stayed professional, and emotionally walked away. Over time, that colleague grew frustrated. Why? Because Brandon's silence took away their power. The disrespect continued, but it had nowhere to land. And Brandon, he remained centered, peaceful, and in control. So how do you know when it's time to walk away? First, recognize the pattern. If the disrespect is consistent and intentional, it's not a mistake. It's manipulation. Second, evaluate the cost. Is your energy being drained more than anything constructive is coming from it? Third, let go without guilt. Walking away doesn't make you weak. It means you value your peace more than proving a point. At the end of the day, a Stoic doesn't waste energy proving themselves to people who refuse to listen. If someone keeps disrespecting you, silence isn't surrender. It's self-respect. Walk away, not because you're afraid to fight, but because you know your energy is too valuable to waste. Let's explore one of the deepest foundations for handling disrespect with true Stoic composure: internal validation. It's easy to anchor your confidence in external sources. Praise, approval, admiration, the spotlight. But what happens when those affirmations fade away? What happens when you're mocked, underestimated, or outright disrespected? If your sense of self relies on the opinions of others, then every insult, every dismissal can threaten to destabilize you. But when your validation comes from within, no external judgment can touch you. Here's the truth. The more you ground your worth in your own values, the less you will be affected by the words or actions of others. When your identity is built on integrity, discipline, and truth, you stand unmoved when someone tries to tear you down. Their words become nothing more than fleeting noise, not a verdict, not a definition of who you are. This is what Seneca meant when he said, "He who is not a slave to the opinion of others is truly free." Most people live shackled to what others think. They dress to be approved of, speak to be accepted, react to feel validated. But the Stoic walks with a quiet confidence, grounded in discipline, clarity, and self-awareness. Such confidence doesn't need to be seen. It simply needs to be lived. Consider the story of a woman I know, Lauren, who ran a small creative business. In the beginning, she faced mockery. People would say, "Oh, that's cute," or "You're still doing that little thing." For a while, those comments stung. She almost gave up, but then she realized she was giving too much weight to others' opinions. She turned inward. She focused on the impact her work was having on those who truly valued it. She reminded herself of her deeper purpose and stopped waiting for validation from people who didn't understand her vision. The more she honored her own values, the quieter the external noise became. In time, even those who doubted her could not ignore her growth. So, how do you cultivate internal validation? Define your values. Who are you when no one is watching? Detach from external opinions. Both praise and criticism are fleeting. Do not anchor your self-worth to either. Check in with yourself more than you check in with others. Let your own reflection guide you, not the reactions of others. At the end of the day, a Stoic doesn't need the world's approval. They approve of themselves. When your confidence is rooted in character, not applause, no insult can undermine it. Build that inner strength, and disrespect will have no place to land. Let time and character speak for you. Let's explore one of the most powerful Stoic responses to disrespect: letting your life speak for you. When someone disrespects you, your first impulse might be to defend yourself, explain your side, correct the falsehoods, and seek justice in the moment. You want others to know the truth. You want to be heard right now. But the Stoics understood something most never learn. A moment of disrespect might be loud, but a life of character is far louder. Here's the truth. If you try to respond to every insult, every rumor, every slight, you'll spend your entire life defending what time would have proven on its own. Your energy will be scattered, your peace disrupted, and some will still believe what they choose to believe. But if you stay the course, if you continue living with integrity, discipline, and quiet strength, your life begins to speak louder than any insult ever could. Heraclitus said it simply: time reveals truth. Let your life be your response. This is Stoicism in action. You don't fight every battle. You don't explain yourself to those who've already made up their minds. You simply show up, do the work, and stay rooted in your values. Over time, the truth rises not because you shouted it, but because you lived it. Consider the story of a man I know. Let's call him Michael. He was once publicly disrespected by a business partner. Lies were spread, and his name was dragged through meetings and conversations. At first, Michael felt the urge to retaliate. He drafted messages, prepared to expose the other person, but then he paused. Instead of reacting, he focused on his work. He served his clients with excellence, stayed humble, and allowed time to do what it always does: reveal character. Within a year, the same people who had doubted him came back and apologized. Why? Because Michael never fought for approval. He let his actions build the truth, brick by brick.